Everybody, it's Chris over at Dixieland Farm, and today I'm going to be talking about X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. But before you turn off, I'm actually talking about fanboys and toxic exuberance, I guess is the best way to put it, right? So, X-Plane 12 came out, and the negativity about the release of X-Plane 12 has been tremendous. And not just by people who uh, use Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and we're going to try out X-Plane 12, but X-Plane users themselves just out of the gate hate on the simulator. The simulator costs $60, by the way. Not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. People say, "Oh, it's a lot of money. It's 60 bucks." In other hobbies, 60 bucks would get you a nut and a washer, you know, one golf ball that has special properties. Exaggeration, of course, but you get what I'm saying. Not a lot of money. So the people that play flight simulators are different than the people who fly flight simulators. It's not a game for some, and it is a game for some. These are two different camps of people with two different goals, and they are not wrong in enjoying the simulator the way they do. I fall in the camp of people who fly a flight simulator. There is no goal. I don't like to go and try to land on a bridge. I don't like to try to dive bomb and then recover at the last minute. I don't like to go and try to visit my house or, land on a street. These are things I don't do. It is totally fine that you do. And so, X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12. X-Plane 11, great simulator, different than Flight Simulator 2020. X-Plane 11, with a lot of tweaks, can look fantastic. X-Plane 12, out of the box, looks as good as X-Plane 11. So the people who did all the tweaks with X-Plane 11 now have nothing good to say about X-Plane 12. They say, all of this time, what did I wait for? I've got all this in X-Plane 11, and you do, but you spent countless hours tweaking, buying products. Here, take a look. This is X-Plane 11. The clouds are using a program called Enhanced Skyscapes that I'm using. Turn off the sky, turn off the clouds. And we can see the clouds are just kind of, they're okay. Outside, you can hear the atmosphere. That's actually a tweak to make that happen. So we go up into the sky, and these clouds are actually not even stock clouds. These clouds are something called cloud art, but they are two-dimensional panels. If you try to fly through them, they're just going to move past you, opposed to enhanced skyscape clouds, which are 3D clouds. These actually have mass, and when you try to go around them, or when you go through them, you're actually going through them. You can go around them, in and out. They're not just 2D things. This is a tweak to add more vehicles out there. So the trains they're stock, but I've actually got different vehicles out here. All of these houses are using a tweak called Sim Heaven X America, and I'm using a special script to make the line of distance change. That way you can see Chicago here in the distance, all nice and pretty. So we've got the sound, that's a tweak. The runway is an actual art tweak that I'm using. The ground textures, so we are not using something called scenery, which is basically satellite scenery on the ground. These are ground textures. Well, these ground textures are from a product called SFT Global that I paid for. If we go back to the airplane, where it's dead quiet, these buildings are another product called AEP that I've purchased and put in here to make the buildings look better. So I've also got a whole bunch of other little tweaks running. So I've got weather running. This is a weather injector that makes the weather a little more realistic, and when weather would be updated, it would kind of be harsh, opposed to X-Plane 12. So here we are in X-Plane 12. You can hear that we've already got noise going on. We step outside. It knows distance, so now the noise has changed. opposed to the little script I had before. You can see we've got a lot more trains going. Now I'm still using X America here, so this is for X-Plane 12. And if we look in Chicago here, the line of distance is a little different. But the runways, this is stock. This is not a special product. The airport buildings are using that AEP only because I paid for it, but that's also been upgraded if I use the stock version. The stock houses have been upgraded, but not here in X America. The ground textures are so good to me that it's hard to tell satellite sometimes from. I mean, this is just built in. I mean, that almost looks like a real picture of what's going on. Fantastic. The clouds, let's go ahead and make it a little cloudier. The lighting is just amazing, right? The clouds are built in, not a special product, and also there's consequences for flying in clouds. The air gets bumpier. It knows where you are. The clouds will change over time. If I fast forward over time, the clouds will slowly get, they'll move. So here you can see that lighting is just gorgeous. The night lighting, gorgeous. All that stuff had to be kind of tweaked in the older version of X-Plane. There is just physics differences, and some of them need to be tweaked. They're not as realistic as I would like, but we're getting there, certainly. And there's wind affecting trees. You can see like the trees move ever so slightly, and if it was windy, those things, the branches would move quite a bit. And it also knows that we're in summer here, so the trees have lost their leaves. If we change it again, so you can see here we've got leaves on the trees now, and with the wind blowing ever so gently. If it was fall, those leaves would be changing color, and it would also depend where you are in the world when it would actually drop the leaves. So really just a neat little thing. You can see there's a little more grass now, it's a little greener, and there's other things that are just in the world different. Water moves, and if you were on a seaplane, that water would make a difference. It would bounce you up and down, and there are just so many little physics changes. So the lighting is actually based on the real world, how light scatters on objects and time of day and all of that is actually figured out in real life. This is not, oh, this would look pretty. They actually figured it out, so it can resemble real life. And people will discount that. Big major changes, it'll only get better over time. And even the fanboys are attacking X-Plane 12 because of X-Plane 11 and what they've done. But X-Plane 11 still won't equal X-Plane 12. And you had to spend so much more time and money to get it to equal what's in X-Plane 12 out of the box. And this is the point I'm getting to, that people are so ready to knock something that they make it unenjoyable. Disney community, there's a ride that just closed, and the people came out of the woodwork complaining about the ride closing. They'll also, same people will complain that not enough changes are happening in the park. It's the same park that it's been for the last 20 years. Also not true. But you can't please people, right? You change something, people are angry. You don't change something, people get angry. And the change you make, people will get angry. They basically bullied this night firework show at Epcot. People just constantly complained about it. It was open like less than a year, and boom, closed already. And they're going to replace it with something else. Nothing wrong with the show, just bullied by fanboys, really. I mean, these are the people that complain, not the guests that showed up. They had no problem with the stuff at all, but the clamor online was so great, they ended up just scrapping it. And matter of fact, they're bringing back a show because of the same thing. I'm actually one of those people that are happy about that because that show was better. So I'm part of the problem. So I don't know where I'm getting at with this other than the thing that ruins a fan community are the fans and their viciousness at uh, attacking people with a different opinion or defending their opinion. I get this all the time. Also in the flight simulator community, I use Xplane. I use Xplane for a number of reasons, and I can give you the reasons why I think Xplane is a superior product over Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. But people will instantly knock me for my choice, and when I start pointing out uh, issues I have with their simulator, they feel like they're being attacked. But they had no problem attacking me, and it was partially because of them trying to justify why they use the simulator they do. That is also part of fanboy community is you are trying to defend your choices by attacking others, and you shouldn't do that. And I, I can fall into the trap too. I do my best to give an opinion, but like I don't want to attack you because you've got a different opinion. So I've got no way to solve the world here. But I am pointing this out that some of the worst people that take the fun out of any hobby are the people who are actively involved and enjoy the hobby. So you've got to be careful of that also, and don't let that suck out the fun. You got to, besides ignore those people, you got to just get rid of those people. I've had to block people because of that, as they come at you for your opinion. You weren't attacking them, but by you giving your opinion, which is contrary to them, they felt attacked. Rambled long enough. Everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening about this two-prong thing while I showed some of the differences between X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. Also, the spoiler alert is I've got to use X-Plane 11 for quite a bit longer. A lot of the planes that I use will only fly in X-Plane 11. They have not been updated to X-Plane 12. They made enough changes in X-Plane 12 that some of the planes simply will not fly and will crash the simulator. And also, X-Plane 11 looks pretty damn good, as you saw. I mean, it's pretty close. Uh, there are a lot more benefits in X-Plane 12. I would much prefer to be flying X-Plane 12 exclusively, but that will not be the case for a long time. And there's no problem running both of them at the same time. I can get into a flight with one plane in X-Plane 11, move on to X-Plane 12, and enjoy it as well. So, all right. Take care, everybody.